Okay. You still can't hear me, no?
I can hear you now, and just beware, we are live on stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the UKGL Season 2. Now, we're just waiting for Cyclone to load up into the lobby.
We'll be with you shortly.
But we have a fantastic game coming up. My name's JT, of course. Joining me is the Irish Dota genius that is CycloneDuke. How are you doing today, Cyclone?
Oh, well, I'll tell you, man, I've been ran off my feet. It's been a busy week, but looking forward to some Dota right now. Tell you that much.
You and me both. Now, I've already been casting tonight, and I casted the game for that one of these teams have played. We'll change this later. The guys from Kent. And it's been a damn good game. It was a damn good match. They won it 2-0. They took down the guys from... Where are they from? Cambridge University, CUDGS3. They took those down.
Wow. Very nice.
2-0. And of course, if you were just watching on the UKGL TV stream, you will have seen 5-man mid, or 5 magnificent Malaysians, taking out Magic Socket. Now, I thought Magic Socket were a very strong team when I saw them earlier, and it looked like five of them really gave them a run for their money there.
Definitely. So, are we into the finals now? Is it nearly the? How far are we away from those?
Not too far. Couple of games bracket wise, and then we'll be close to ready.
Fantastic. Well, sorry for the delay here. Now I'm all set up. I'm just trying to get into this lobby here now. Just password's giving me a bit of an issue, so I'm just restarting, and we should be good to go.
No problem. No problem.
So who have we got playing against each other today?
Today we've got Extra Sour Wet Noodles, a team from University of Manchester, taking on, we'll change this later, the guys from University of Kent.
Sounds good. Okay, awesome. Have we seen any nuttery today? I believe you were also casting already today, some other games?
Yep, so I casted another game, 2-match series. We'll change this later, taking on CUDGS3. Like I mentioned, they beat them 2-0. And they played some very, very solid Dota. Just really taking their time, waiting for the right engagement. They had a couple of mid players who were just really taking any opportunities they could to get the upper hand.
Fantastic. Well, okay, I'm sorry for the delay now. I'm in and I'm good to go.
Okay, just letting the tournament admin know that the casters are ready. What is this? A caster's delaying a game? Shocking behaviour.
I hope we're not setting trends.
Well, thank you very much to those of you who are tuning in on the stream. Welcome one, welcome all to the UKGL Dota 2 University League Season 1. Casters are ready. Looks like the teams are ready. They're itching to play some Dota. This is the last game of the night on UKGL TV 1. Until tomorrow, when we've got 4 whole matches coming up. A couple of them best of 1s in the lower bracket, a couple of them best of 3s, and I believe we're casting one of those tomorrow, aren't we?
That we are indeed, yes, we're casting tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, nice late night Dota cast there for you. I'm looking forward to that one, because that's winner of... Well, it's a winner of a couple of loser bracket matches, so it's sort of the last chance for a couple of teams to get themselves back into the final.
Definitely. You know what? I'm going to pull up the information for you now, so give me a moment. I'll be able to tell you who's playing who.
So whilst we just load into the game, ESWN have the Radiant side. We'll change this later. Going to be on the Dire. And we have a lot of the UKGL team in the lobby tonight. This is really nice to see.
Busy.
Busy. It's nice. It's great. And big shout out to everyone who's currently watching on the Twitch TV feed. How are you doing? Give us a shout.
How we doing, folks? Okay, so just before we get going, just a quick note there. The game that we will be casting tomorrow at 10 o'clock will be the winner of this game versus the winner of match 3 versus Dim Sum. But we'll be winning. Whoever wins this will be continuing to our game tomorrow. So let's have a look at the picks and bans so far. We see a Lich ban, nothing surprising there. Lich is always being banned out there after that sacrifice buff. Venomancer has been banned for the overpowered model, if you ask me.
Overpowered alien model. Now, I just played a game against Venomancer. I was playing as Wisp, and my God, his laning phase is so strong.
Venomancer's entire game has become so strong after that last patch, man. Gale scales ridiculously, as does Poison Sting, and the wards are as strong as ever. They've even been buffed. Venomancer is trending as hell right now. After that, then we see Elder Titan, very strong late game support, very strong early game mid, or even an offlaner, very very hero. And then Darkseer. You always want to ban Darkseer. He's fantastic all round. And Visage being the first pick.
I like a bit of Visage. As you may know, I am a bit of a micro fan. So any hero that involves a little bit of micro, I'm more than happy to see played in a game.
Reserve time.
Oh man, I could never handle the birds. It's too much for me. Too much. Give me one Chen creep with a stomp I can handle, but I cannot handle those birds, let alone a flippin' Aghanim's. We see a Lunar counterpick. Lunar is actually quite a nice answer to that Visage. You get those glaives bouncing on the birds. That's a lot of farm.
It's a lot of farm. It's a lot of damage. Now I've also seen, we'll change this later, their hard carry player Recoil plays a very good Lunar.
And a good Luna can absolutely demolish at nearly any stage of the game. She can, if you go for quick phase drums, you'll have a nice mid game. You can go for like a Helm into maybe a BKB going to secure the late game. So we're gonna have to see what other picks we have come out here. Now we've got a Clockwork, so this is a very nice aggressive kind of support lineup so far. Visage can like scout out with the birds, find Clockwork some hooks. And then, once you're in the cogs, that's some guaranteed gargoyle stomp stuns, from the Visage birds. So I think we might see a lot of early game aggression possibly coming out here from Extra Sour Wet Noodles. I don't know, can we shorten that to Noodles maybe? That's a bit of a mouthful.
Like or just say where they're from. I'll often refer to them as the guys from Manchester. We'll change this later. I'll either initialise it or call them Kent.
Reserve time.
Now then, we'll change this later. They've already played a couple of games this evening competitively, whereas Extra Sour Wet Noodles, this is the first game in the brackets for them. This is the first game in the finals for them. How do they approach a best of 3 against a team that has now already proved themselves as a very, very strong force in this tournament?
Same as any other case, man. You keep your cool and you do your best, and you don't get caught up. You got a best of 3 here. Even if you have a slip up possibly in the first game, you've got another game to get that back and go to a final in a game 3. So going into this, you just play the best Dota you can, regardless of who it is you're up against. That should always be the case. And if you are of equal skill or better, and if you've maybe got a bit of luck on your side, but if you do your hard work, you can overcome them. So one of the teams has proven themselves already, but for all we know, we've got a powerhouse about to play here.
You've got a good point. Now, this is a lineup that, if you've watched We'll Change This Later play before, is quite familiar. Crystal Maiden, Earthshaker, they're going to be in the hands of Deezer and James Bond, most likely. Both of them very good with those heroes, very good mobile supports. And now we're going to get to see the slightly new model of Gyrocopter in. Let's just quickly gloss over the bans. The Rubik, banned out by We'll Change This Later. They don't want them stealing any of their big ultimates. The Puck also banned out, so banning out...
We'll change this later. Definitely going against mid-heroes.
Yeah, going against mid-heroes. Banning out also a power support in Rubik. They've got a lot of strong ultimates that they don't want a Rubik to steal. So it would indicate that they want another big ultimate. They want a bit more wombo combo in that. Extra Sour Wet Noodles. Banning out the Timbersaw, banning out the Weaver, banning out... Once again, a strong offlaner. 2 strong offlaners even. Because we'll change this later. They've only really given up their tri-lane. They're still looking for a mid. They're still looking for an offlaner as well.
We're going to have to see what mid We'll Change This Later is going to pull out of their sleeve here, because they've put an awful lot of work into protecting whatever it is by banning out the Puck, the Elder Titan, the Lich, possibly even the Rubik. So whatever mid they're going to pull out here is going to have a lot of pressure on its shoulders. They're putting a lot of... they're putting kind of a lot of eggs in one basket here with their bans, at least. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to end up with a bad pick or anything. But just to make a point here, we've got a bloodthirsty early game, a good bloodthirsty tri-lane here with Crystal Maiden, Frostbite. Earthshaker, the Fisher, has been buffed recently from 1200 to 1300 range. And then a Luna Beam on top of that with, the Lunar Aura as well to increase the right-click damage in a tri-lane. Very dangerous. So they're still not going to pick their mid. All we're going to get is an offlane bounty hunter. So that last pick is going to be their mid. So keep an eye on possibly the ban here from Extra Sour Wet Noodles count, whatever that is. Now, meanwhile,
on that vein, Extra Sour Wet Noodles have a lot of aggressive potential as well. They've got a Clockwork who is an aggressive off-laner, he can go mid-even, but they've got this Visage Gyrocopter. Now if they put this Gyrocopter in the carry position role with a Visage, you've got a lot of potential in an aggressive tri-lane situation here.
Definitely. I do think that Extra Shower Wet Noodles has a lot of killing power, but that's not really going to come online until about level 6. I mean, discarding the gyrocopters, Rocket Barrage, I mean, if you get a good lucky, one hero out of where they should be at level 1, you get 2 barrages off them, they're dead. I mean, but aside from that, a lot of the aggressive potential so far from Extra Sour Wet Noodles is going to be around the level 6. We need Hookshot, we need Call Down, we need Birds. That's all level 6. So I think we're going to see probably a very calm laning stage here, at least from Extra Sour Wet Noodles. We'll change this later, I think they're going to be going for the blood in the laning stage. Possibly even maybe an aggressive tri-lane might be appropriate here.
Yeah, definitely. And that will be playing in the minds of Extra Sour Wet Noodles. So they'll be looking to pick, to sort of make sure that they, even if, we'll change this later, do go for an aggressive tri-lane, that they've got some defence. And, I mean, what sort of support would they be looking to get to sort of protect themselves against an aggressive tri-lane?
They need a hard stun, possibly like maybe a Lion or a Venge, or depending on how confident their support player is, a Lina or a Leshrac. But they need something to hold people down. The Birds aren't very reliable. Gyrocopter's Rocket is barely even worth mentioning. So the only hard stun that they have so far is the Hookshot, and they're having a hard time making this pick here. They need a hard disable. And they still haven't picked one up.
I've gone for the Abaddon now. Where are they going to lane this Abaddon? This will be interesting to see. Now, I was with you on the Lion. I thought Lion would have been a very strong pick there, just because of that multiple crowd control sources, that really easy to land stun that can then lead into the Gyro Rocket, the Visage Birds.
Yeah. So they pick up an Abaddon, and as you said, I mean, this is... Are we going to be looking at a Visage, Abaddon, Gyro tri-lane? That's just got no killing potential. That's incredibly defensive.
It is very defensive. Maybe they're looking to, maybe they're going on what you're saying earlier. It is, they need those level 6s. So maybe they're looking to just be really, really defensive, really turtly. Either that, or they're pulling out some insane dual lane strategy here. You could lane Visage Clockwork together, Gyrocopter, Abaddon together, Abaddon Clockwork.
Definitely. If we bring dual aids into it, it's definitely just absolutely in the air. But I think if you're trying to kill a Gyrocopter in a tri-lane when he's being supported by a Visage, with the Grave Chill and Abaddon, with the Mist Coil and the Apothic Shield, you're not going to, I think they could possibly shut down the killing potential of that lethal Dire tri-lane. So I mean, I think that if they are thinking possibly that they're going to get a very bloodthirsty tri-lane to handle that, and that's just an interesting mid choice here now from We'll Change This Later. Death Prophet.
I do like the Death Prophet. We've seen Death Prophet in an earlier game, not between these two teams. It was between MGS and 5MM. Death Prophet as part of a push lineup. It was push lineup against push lineup, and the Death Prophet, she's just so strong at the moment. Her exorcism is so powerful.
It got a just flat 25% damage increase in the last patch, along with some buffs more, I believe, to her witchcraft, and her silence as well has been buffed recently. She actually, I think, fits in quite well into this roundup. She can help carry to the late game if she gets, a mech, maybe Shiva's Guard. She can, but the big thing is she will add a lot of pushing power right in here. And to answer the pushing power, out comes a Tinker for Extra Sour Wet Noodles.
A very strong counter pusher, a really good global hero as well. And you know what, the guys from Kent will change this later. They really don't have a massively good answer to a Tinker, so I think that's quite a nice pick. It'll depend on how well he performs mid. So let's go into the game on the side of the Radiant. We have the boys from Manchester, Extra Sour Wet Noodles. Jung is going to be playing that Tinker. Mulgan 95 on the Visage. Bunny on the Clockwork. Prom's going to be taking that Abaddon, and that'll leave one F. Sorry, just F. Sorry, that'll leave F on that brand new floaty gyrocopter.
Fantastic. Meanwhile, on the Dire team, we have Noob playing the Death Prophet, Recoil leading the charge with the Luna, James Bond shaken, shaker, not stirred on the Earth Shaker. J-Lo on the Bounty Hunter and Deezer on the Crystal Maiden, and they're being very defensive at the moment. Just want to make sure that their jungle doesn't get warded here. Don't want the Radiant team coming up here to stop that pull camp. So again, more emphasis on this tri lane, and it will be a safe tri lane. It looks like.
I am going to warn you. I made the shaken not stirred joke twice when I casted that game earlier. You went to it like a moth to the flame.
That's horrible. I can't believe you would do that to me.
I just let you. I heard it. I heard that glee in your voice, just waiting to make that joke.
I thought of it on the spot and everything. That's dear God. Okay, well we got a sentry now here blocking off those ancients for the offlane bounty hunter. They must have been expecting an offlane tinker, and who would be stacking up those ancients, but not going to happen. So sentry, possibly wasted here. But that does mean that they will have a supply of sentries in the bottom lane for that bounty hunter. Oh, and a lane ward as well going up by the Abaddon. So they're really looking to absolutely just kick this bounty hunter and not let him get any experience here. They've got a sentry left for him, and they have an observer ward there. That bounty hunter is going to have a hard time.
Meanwhile, let's have a look mid. Deezer and James Bond, they're already early rotating. Deezer's managed to get a haste rune on that Crystal Maiden. They're going to look to see if they can get something out early on this Tinker. Pushing into him, but he's just going to be able to dip back behind tower. Crystal Maiden decided to skill the Nova as opposed to the Frostbite. Also, speaking of new models and speaking of Nova, we also have a Lunar in game who has new Nova. Nova, if you will.
Male Nova, was it? Yes, interesting to see. Now, just interesting now about that gank attempt in mid. A good choice by the Crystal Maiden to back away. That tower would have ripped her apart if they went in. Yeah. As you said, possibly a weird choice to go for the Nova, but it is a very strong slow, with that said.
It really is. Now, having a look at Bounty Hunter's items, he's been pulled 3 shared tangos from people, taking up 3 inventory slots instead of just giving him 1. Meanwhile, Bunny, top lane, is just using... He's using his battery assault, however, he's going to get hit by quite a lot. He's going to cog himself out, though.
Really cheeky monkey. Absolutely very aggressive. Could have even been killed there if he wasn't careful. If Deezer was quick with the frostbite, perhaps. Which I'm not sure if she's even skilled yet. But very cheeky play there from that bunny. If he keeps that kind of attitude up, he's going to give up first blood.
He made it, but at the moment, actually, he's almost level 3. He's just sapping experience. He knows that the Crystal Maiden has only skilled her Nova, although he'll now maybe not know that she's got Frostbite, so he's going to have to be careful, and Rico's going to look to just chase him away. James Bond with a Fisher, really nice Fisher in. Cogs come out, but he's cogged himself into a really bad corner. He's doing a lot of damage. Is he going to manage to get kill on recoil? Crystal Maiden doesn't have mana for the Frostbite. All of them taking quite a lot of damage. He's just going to be able to walk away. Not enough mana for the Frostbite there. And Crystal Maiden gets killed by the neutral. It's
Dear
not
God.
First Blood. Well, First
Blood.
Hellbear MVP. There we go.
Absolute messer. That was clockwork in a nutshell. Absolutely ridiculously aggressive. Again, just walking away, casually strolling away with this battery assault, and then he knows that he can put down the cogs to just walk through, and they'll just keep on getting knocked back. He made a very good choice there as well to walk right down to the cliff, the furthest point away. The Fisher did block all the way, but that could possibly have given him a melt. So, well played, but still far too aggressive. But we did see the Hellbear Smasher get first blood, as you said.
Very aggressive play from the Clockwork there. It's what I like to see, is just making the most of this really early time, because he's going to have difficulty from now, because the enemy supports are getting quite a few levels. You know, he's not going to be able to get away with as much. Now, J-Lo on the bottom, he's level 3 as well with the Bounty Hunter. He's just sapping up quite a bit of experience. Death Prophet going to pick up the Illusion Rune there. Both teams just very general warding, just feeling each other out now. And Bunny's just going to play it safe now, stand back. He knows what they've got now. He can
Interesting skill build choice there by the Tinker, maxing out rockets and then following up with lasers. So no match to the machine, so we're likely not going to see a Boots of Travel here anytime soon. He's actually got the courier bringing him out. A bottle it is, so...
Oh yeah, usually with Tinker, when you go mid, you look for that bottle first, and you only start skilling March of the Machines later on, once you've got that Boots of Travel. Because he's not going to have that for like maybe 10 or so minutes.
Top lane.
So we might as well look for as much nuke. Top lane, Bunny gets frostbited in, and Fishered in. The cogs come in, he's going to be... Well, First Blood comes out there. That Fisher lasts for forever, it seems. And he managed to cog in the Earthshaker with him, gives up the first blood there. Even though it's 1-to-1, that neutral kill not counting as first blood.
Again, we see Bunny going overly aggressive. He needs to chill out, launch a few flares to get some last hits, and just leech experience. He's you know, third time's the charm that they got him down there. He needs to relax.
Jung on that Tinker was going up top, but they're wrapping around mid. Support's now coming in from ESWN. Smoke's revealed on them. Death Prophet's going to manage to just about get away. She was a little too far back to make anything out of the gank.
Not a very good time for a smoke on mid, to be honest. The lane was pushed. Look at Death Prophet. Look where the lane is. It's even further out now than it was.
Speaking of smokes on mid, Deezer and James Bond, they're looking for a counter smoke of their own. And Tinker's quite far forward now. He's got a lot of nuke. But is he going to manage to escape from this? Out comes the silence from the Death Prophet. The Frostbite's out there as well. James Bond positioning himself for a Fisher. Jung's just going man mode, takes out the Crystal Maiden, and that's what Tinker can do when he maxes that laser and rockets early. So much early game nuke. But you know what?
He had a double damage. He had a double damage on him as well. Earthshaker went for a very safe Fisher. He didn't want to possibly miss the Tinker and block the Fisher on the other side, allowing him to escape. He went for an overly safe Fisher to make sure that he blocked the pathing, but didn't deal any damage to Tinker, which actually
didn't get the stun out either.
No, he didn't. No stun, no damage, which meant that a double damage Tinker wasn't stunned and was alive long enough to cast spells and right-click on the Crystal Maiden and actually got a kill. So I guess playing it safe doesn't always pay off. Bottom lane, Bounty Hunter's possibly in a bad spot. Should be able to get away though.
Yep,
no stuns down there.
Lurching away now, not a problem. That Sentry Ward's about to die out, so they might want to reward that soon. He's just going to run in. He's got his phase boots already. Lots of damage coming out from the Abaddon though. But that trade mid, that was still quite a good trade for the Kent guys, WCTL. You know, giving up a Crystal Maiden to take out a mid that's really dependent on early game farm. Midas coming out already though on that Gyrocopter, and Jung on this Tinker, so much nuke damage, just really putting out a lot of harass. And Noob's only managing because he's got rune control here, so he can constantly get that bottle refilled. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the farm. 38 last hits, 39 for Luna.
I'm surprised to see Gyrocopter with less last hits than the Luna. The Luna has been distracted with Gyrocopter. I think some of those last hits for Luna would be small creeps from the camp. Gyro getting jumped on, or pardon me, Clockwork getting jumped on the bottom lane, but not going to turn to anything. But Gyrocopter has basically had nearly uncontested farm here on this bottom lane. He's only against the Bounty Hunter. He's got a tri-lane to support him that have sentries. So I'm not quite sure how he's got less last hits than Luna here.
It is a lot more difficult to last hit as Gyro than it is as Luna. I mean, when I first started playing Gyro, I mean, I can last hit with, say, Anti-Mage or Lifestealer quite easily, but Gyro just has a very awkward attack animation. Obviously,
very fast and very low damage. But he did get the Hand of Midas, so he will be able to stand up late game to that Luna.
He definitely will now. Tracks flied out on the Visage. Just so that Bounty
a lot of heroes on top.
A lot of heroes on top. 4 top here. Death Prophet's come up here. Maybe looking to get something on Bunny. Deezer's going to roll a little bit forward, taking damage from the tower. Bunny gets frostbitten, but nothing happens of it. Deezer's very, very low on health there, and we're going to see Jung on that Tinker running around. Crystal Maiden manages to TP to base. Is he going to see if he can clean up, get some kills? Spots out the haste rune though. It's a very opportune haste rune there for Jung.
We got to keep our eye on this top lane. Luna going for a dive against Bunny. Oh, hook shot onto a creep, unfortunate, but some TP's come in.
TP's coming in. Jung's wrapping round. Death Prophet ults out. There's the Eclipse. An amazing stun from James Bond there. Manages to catch out that Tinker, and if that stun hadn't landed, a really brilliant reaction time. If that stun hadn't landed, then that would have been possibly 2 kills to the Tinker.
That's one hero. That's one hero you don't want to come and backstab on her own in the middle of a fight. Is Luna with an Eclipse up with no creeps nearby?
Looks like Noodles is going to farm this big camp here, stacked big camp with the ultimate up. And you know what? That went really quite well for WCTL. They could have lost 2, maybe 3 there instead. They don't really lose any at all, and they managed to take out the Tinker just from some really good Earthshaker play there. Ewan's
Very
gonna be
good
right
TP
back.
response by Mulgan95 to port in and save the Clockwork.
Oh,
Could probably have
definitely.
turned it into a kill under the tower if the hook shot had landed, but the positioning just wasn't right. But Clockwork gets away, and did they get a kill in the end?
It looks like they managed to. I
Bottom
don't
lane?
think they did. Bottom lane. Big flat cannon damage coming out there, but in comes James Bond, gets the Fisher off. Oh, F's really, really low. He's tracked as well. Is he going to die? Tries to get the flat cannon off, but dies to the Earthshake. Track goal as well. WCTL now 2 kills ahead. And it looks like Deezer's just alone top lane.
It's very hard to stay alive solo versus a gyrocopter. If you ever go in for a last, that's what basically what happened. Bounty Hunter goes in for a right click for a bit of gold. You get a full barrage in your face. A lot of damage.
But that was really, really good TP reaction there from James Bond, getting that Fisher off, catching the gyrocopter at the tip of the Fisher as well. And that track coming out. They're now 2 kills ahead, but crucially, one of those kills is a track kill. So that's really starting to show on the gold earned. About 2,500 in favour of WCTL, and it's 10 minutes in. Now Tinker, he's still about a 1.2k away from those boots of travel.
Yeah,
Whereas
no
Death
big
Prophet's-
items coming out so far. The most interesting item so far on the board is just that Midas on UOM on Gyrocopter. Aside from that, we don't have any big items now. Bounty Hunter coming along mid, keeping his eye on Tinker, but nothing going to come from that. Earthshaker got some nice quick boots, but so I mean they're off to a good start up there. But we see a lot of heroes now converging down on the mid lane. Might see some action here soon.
That's right. Big Fisher coming out. They've managed to hit Yoon. Hookshot comes in. Yoon's going to die, but so is Bounty Hunter there. James Bond, is he going to die? Well, Death Prophet's going to try to dive. She's at full health, but she's going to take too much damage from the tower. And it's just going to be a 1-for-1 trade, the Bounty Hunter for the Tinker there. Both of these heroes dying quite often. Tinker's got 3 deaths. He's not getting that traction early. But you know what? Death Prophet's just going to melt this tower now with her spirits. And that Death Prophet...
Tinker...
Oof.
Oh, that Death Prophet, as you were saying, yeah, will absolutely eat this creep wave, eat that tower, and then even if they put a bit more heroes behind it, it looks like they won't. They could have pushed it to the tier 2 possibly, but not going to happen this time, I believe.
However,
Meanwhile,
they are
the
going
top...
to, they're going to take the tier 1 top. So they've taken 2 towers in very quick succession.
Big gold increase then for WCTL.
Yeah.
And so far in the game, how we sizing up, I mean, I think it does feel fairly even so far, and I don't believe, I mean, towers aside, any team has an advantage so far.
Well, XP wise, it's about 1,300 in favour of WC, a modest amount, about a level overall the entire team. However, gold wise, we're looking at about 5,500, 5.2k in favour of WCTL, and that's 2 extra kills, that's 2 towers, and that's 1 or 2 trap kills as well. That's doing
you can boil that down to 1,000 more gold in everyone's pockets for WCTL then, and that's a fair amount, especially when you consider
really
some
is.
of that will beat the supports, especially considering that all the supports for the Dart team just got 200 gold from those tower kills. And as you said, we're not seeing this traction from the Tinker so far. He doesn't have his bots. He's got basic boots and a bottle, and he's sitting on 1,000 gold. Meanwhile, in the Radiant jungle,
Clockwork hook in, but he's going to cog himself in. Deezer's getting the frostbite, manning up. Here's James Bond though. Is he going to get the hit off? Yoon comes in just to back him up. And you know what? Noob's coming in now, seeing if he can get a hit. But that Tinker manages to just take it down. They've got 2 kills. They've lost the Visage though. And J-Lo has been trapped up there. But he's dusted. He's dead. That's a killing spree there for the Clockwork. And suddenly ESWN have managed to pull back a couple of kills. However, Recoil, now I've seen Recoil do this in multiple games now. Once again, just casually sitting there farming. He's fine. He's getting close to his BKB. He's got his drums already. He's just
top on net
making use
worth,
of this
as you
space.
said. Very good. I mean, the best thing nearly that you could do, arguably, while that bloodbath was happening in the Radiant jungle, you lost. The Crystal Maiden got killed by the Clockwork, followed by the Earthshaker when the Tinker came in to bail out Clockwork, and then the Bounty Hunter even. During all of that, as you said, Recoil Luna just farming away on the top lane, and she's looking very healthy. She is sitting on top of net worth, 1k ahead of the Gyrocopter, who, by the way, has a Hand of Midas, and she's about 1.4k away from a BKB on top of her drums and treads, so WCTL looking pretty strong right now. A lot of track gold going around. Luna's very farmed. They're looking to finalise this last tier 1 here on the bottom lane.
Yeah,
But
looking-
they're looking good so far. They just need to be careful to keep this. They can't keep on losing team fights like that.
No, they can't. But they're looking to get some early map control by taking out these tier 1s. And you know what? If they manage to do that, then they've got a large advantage on Roche. They've got a large advantage on pretty much everything map control wise. So it's nice to see them getting this push. You know, playing to their strengths here. They can melt a tower very fast if they really want to. Out comes the exorcism, and I honestly don't think Extra Sour Wet Noodles are going to contest this.
They won't do a thing about this. They're all far too spread out. They're trying to push mid, but now here come the cavalry all reporting back to mid to stop this push.
Huge
and
TP support coming in there, yeah.
And that basically means that basically they just took a tier 1 tower for free.
They now have all 3 tier 1 towers down. Huge amounts of map control, really, and you know their Tinker doesn't have boots of travel, so he can't wrestle that map control back.
He did just after pick up those boots of travel, so we will see him now TPing around the map and laying down marches. The march is only level 2 now, as you said, because he was maxing out that max damage build, but that has paid off for them so far in the team fights.
Well, he's going to very quickly hit that level 2 rearm and level up those marches very quickly now, just by counter pushing lanes and such. Meanwhile, it looks like J-Lu, he's looking for somebody. He's having a look, see if he can find somebody out, but he's not going to. There's just going to be some battle of warding going on there. 50 gold.
Wise
nice
choice.
and easy. Meanwhile, top lane, Bunny has hookshotted into recoil, managed to take out the Luna. Deezer's going to come back and see if he can get a revenge kill. But Bunny just going to happily TP out, no problem.
Well played by Bunny. Always carry a TP, folks. And then in mid lane, it looks like ESWN want to take and resume this push and get that tier 1 tower.
And you know what? This is a really good time for them because that Crystal Maiden's already wasted TP. In fact, 2 of them have wasted TPs. If they can manage to get a good push going on this tower, then it'll be good for them. Meanwhile, J-Lu's now in there. The support's got here, but it's still we're still looking at 5v5 or 5v3 in this mid lane here. However, that Death Prophet counter push is just insanely good.
Yep, they just can't stand up to it, even with all the machines. The creeps just melt for either side, honestly. But the Death Prophet can just sit behind there. She's even got a regen in a bottle in her bag, so she is grand. She can just sit there and defend all by herself. And the reason for that is there's no hookshot right now. Hookshot is only just now coming off cooldown, so they might want to restart this push with renewed vigor.
Here's a very big initiation item coming here. Earthshaker with that blink dagger 16 minutes in. Really, really dangerous because it lets him get into position so well. He can either blink in, Echo Slam when there's 5 of them, or he can blink and just position himself perfectly for a nice, quick and easy Fisher. Now they're looking to take Roche down, and they'll melt Roche down with these spirits. And you know what? I don't think ESWN have noticed. Either
there is not a thing. Oh, sorry for the interruption there, JT. But there's not a thing that ESWN can do here against this Roche. It's probably better for them if they didn't try to intervene because, as you said, Earthshaker now has a blink dagger. So I have a feeling that we might see the big lead, the big snowball now start for WCTL on the Dire team.
Yeah.
Once they get a few good fishers in here, good few Echo Slams.
Boys from Manchester really starting to be pinned in. Now Young's going to try his best to split push these lanes out as a Tinker. Active all over the place. If you're watching in-game, I highly recommend you take a couple of seconds and just switch on Tinker Cam just to see the frenetic pace that that Tinker's played at, because it is really a fun sight to see. J-Lu just doing some scouting here as the bounty hunter. Dust comes out from Bunny though. He's going to cogs him in. Deezer's coming in for some support. James Bond's in as well, and you know what? They've just about managed to kill him. That support, J-Lu, 19 HP.
This clockwork is all about eye for an eye. That is just his absolute motto here.
But you know what? He didn't manage to get that kill. There was just a little bit too much support on the side of WCTL. He almost got him. It was a really, really nice spot. Really great dust and cogs, nice reactions. But Deezer and James Bond, their rotation, their mobility, their map awareness is amazing from what I've seen so far. They're always in the right place at the right time.
I know. I don't
Definitely,
care.
and I do got to say, it looks like we are definitely heading towards the late game here in this game. Luna, first core item after Drum, BKB.
Yeah.
Gyrocopter, first core item after Midas, BKB. So everyone's playing it safe right now, and we're probably going to have to wonder now, what's the Luna going to go for next?
She's definitely looking for a damage item, and by and large, the best one on a Luna will be a Manta style. But both of them picking up BKB, it means they're both looking to get into early team fights now. If you get a BKB now, it means that you want to go, right, that's fine, I'll walk into team fights a little bit underdamaged, but it's okay because, you know, we've got enough damage coming from our supports, from our mid, from our off laner. And so it looks like WCTL are looking to really start put pressure on right now.
Yeah, speaking of team fights.
Oh yeah, they're looking to push this tier 2 now. Lucent Beam comes out, Clockwork Flare pops out. Out comes the Death Prophet ulti, forcing out the glyph. Both teams just posturing up. It looks like we've got Mulligan on the Visage, trying to wrap round.
Only going for a walk when he shouldn't be.
Well, he's seen that DD, but you know what? Recoil's pretty low on health. But then again, he's got an Aegis. So
they need the hook shot here. Watch for it.
Yeah. Aegis popped. I think that was kind of tactical by Recoil there. Going to pop right back up, maybe activate the BKB, but gets hook-shotted and cogged in, and he's not even going to manage to get off the Eclipse before he's dead. James Bond, nice blink, echo slamming, does a lot of damage, but the flat cannon takes him down, and they've just lost 2 there. Not a very good engagement there from WTCL.
Not a good engagement at all, JT. The hook shot was very good there. They got the Luna Aegis down, whether or not that was an intentional, but it opened up for an absolutely easy hook shot right into the hogs. Everyone knew that they were going to be able to jump onto that Luna, and that is exactly what happened. As you said, she couldn't even get the Eclipse off through the battery assault. Earthshaker comes in to save her, but he blinks into battery assault and rocket barrage from Gyro and just melted. When you've only got a blink dagger and some arcane boots in your bags, yeah, you don't want to blink into that.
And let's have a look at the XP and gold. Now, WCTL, they have all of their tier 1 towers up. However, look at the XP now. It's about 5k in favour of Extra Sour Wet Noodles, 10 to 7 on the kills. Gold earned still well in the favour of, we'll change this later, but that's what you get when you've got 3 towers on track. And a Roshan.
Definitely, I mean,
we're going to see it. Finally, we're going to see the first Dire tower pop down.
Hurry.
And you know what? ESWN have brought themselves back into this.
Definitely.
He's made up for the fact that he got those BOTs late, and he's just been everywhere and anywhere.
Definitely, and we're going to have to keep an eye now on this Tinker and see what his next item is going to be. He's got his bottle and he's got his Sol Ring, which means he's plenty of mana regen on the go, and he's got the BOTs. He has got a null talisman, so I'm kind of wondering if he might be going for a late Dagon, which I wouldn't advise. I think that they got to go for a sheep here. Get a sheep for that Lunar.
Dagon on Tinker's very strong because it gives you a lot. It's rearmable and it gives you a ton of burst damage then.
Gives you a ton of burst damage, about 6k gold in. I think though what they might need to think about is this Luna. She's probably going to get a butterfly, possibly a manta. She's got a BKB, which by the way wasn't used when she died there last time. Yeah. So I think Tinker getting a sheep stick he gets a blink by the way, but a sheep stick I think is what he's going to need to get one if this goes late game. If they need to fight the Dire team with their track gold, with this Luna, with an Earthshaker who can, you know, initiate, they need a sheep to keep this Luna down and get any kills.
They do. I mean, I still think he's got a bit of time to get a Dagon. Even a level 1 Dagon on a Tinker is more useful than a level 1 on other people, purely because he can rearm it. It doesn't matter about having that massive burst, because he's got multiple sources of burst, and then he can just rearm them all. So he's still got time to get that, but he might rush that sheep. And if he does, I think that will still be a good choice. It depends how he likes to play, how he wants to play, and also what his team are thinking. Are they maybe looking to see if they can just get some burst damage? Are they thinking, right, can we pop this Luna before she does anything, or are we just going to have to crowd control her and kill her?
Now we see the defensive play late game trend continuing as Gyrocopter goes for a Yasha, a very middle of the road kind of item, not a lot of damage. Not too much defense, but just the ability to split. I mean, get rid of something like track. You know,
Yeah.
it's a nice all-round item, and movement speed is always good. But he's not going for an MKB to preempt the Luna, or he's not going for any kind of a big damage item. Meanwhile, the Luna has just picked up a Helm the Dominator and has just dominated a creep. So we'll have to see if she's going to be doing the stacking Ancients trick, because that does work brilliantly with a Luna with a little bit of farm and some bouncing glaives. Can really help you catch up.
It really can, and I've seen it before. Rico's very good at stacking the Ancients with a dominated creep. Does it?
And that is what he's
almost,
going to be doing.
Yeah, sending that Centaur right there. And that's really looking to put the nail in the farm. He's 44 CS ahead of that Gyrocopter. And let's have a look at the net worth. They're even on net worth, though. That's what that one death and that Midas is doing.
That is good farming, and that's the work of Track and Luna as well. Probably it is just due to the track, because Luna is 1 and 2, so she is hanging on there, but it's a good job to keep up with the gyro.
It looks like they're trying to push into that tier 1 mid. Yu's just pushing out tons and tons of these machines. It's doing a lot of damage. Rico is standing in that march of the machines far too often. They're going to get the deny on the tower. They're going to get the deny on the tower, but it was a nice push in there. Inspired a lot of TP response. And you know what? They got the tower deny, but it's fine. You know, the tier 1 tower still went down for very, very little sacrifice, if any at all.
Well, as you said, I mean, it said, you know, that towers are just are gold that you just haven't collected yet. Towers will go down. It's inevitable. It's not too big a loss when they go down, because it is absolutely inevitable. But I think really that WCTL are doing a fantastic job of holding the line and holding the advantage that they do have so far, because, you know, they are being very, you know, they're taking good care of their towers. They're getting track kills.
They just got spotted out there. They smoked, but they think they got spotted out by a sentry and an observer ward. So I think they might have seen them smoke in. I'm not sure, though.
There's an awful lot of pings coming out from the Radiant team, and they did just drop a sentry over there near that mid lane, hoping to catch out a bounty hunter scouting ahead. They definitely know that WCTL are smoked in their jungle.
Yep, and maybe they're looking to counter-initiate, baiting out a little bit with the Abaddon and the Visage. Track comes out on the Abaddon there. Here comes the big Eclipse, but the cooldown comes out. Luna's BKB'd up. Huge amounts of damage coming out there. The Gyrocopter's down. James Bond is going to get Rocket Barrage down, but Bunny's going to get taken down by Recoil. Down goes Prom as well. And that's 4 for 1.
That is a strong Eclipse. That was exactly what Luna wanted to do. Just go in, pop BKB, pop Eclipse with no creeps around, and she absolutely devastated. It was 3-on-1, but she destroyed them with that Eclipse. The Abaddon, funnily enough, his ulti completely healed him because of the Eclipse, which was out of Luna's control. But a very nice team fight for WCTL in the Radiant jungle, and they take a tower on top of it. So we might be looking at possibly a Roche here.
Yeah, they were able to just completely abandon, completely forget about the Abaddon. It's like, that's fine, he's going to heal up to full. We'll kill the rest of the team first. Not a problem at all. And you know what, ESWN, they were prepared for that. They knew that they were there, but I don't think they were prepared for the Luna to just go, that's fine, I'm going to BKB and YOLO.
Definitely, and it's a shame, because they did have very good warning there to alert them to that smoke. Even though smoke can no longer be seen, if you walk over a sentry, you're still not revealed now with the new smoke, but they did actually pop the smoke while under vision of a observer ward. So good warding by ESWN, but not a good team fight, unfortunately. And WCTL were considering going for a Roche there, but thought better of it for some reason. And again, they are just holding on so carefully to these towers as Luna ports up to the top to get that deny on the tier 1 as a pause comes out.
Nice little pause. So we're going to take this opportunity just to have a look at the net worth. Recoil there with that Luna after getting all of those kills, sopping up a lot of gold. She's now 2k in the lead of that Gyro, who took a very nasty death there, quite grisly. Let's have a look in the difference of XP earned. We can't quite see it because of the pause, but we can see it's switched now. It was at 1.4k in advantage of ESWN. It's now about 2.5k in advantage of WCTL, and of course the gold graph still massively in favour of WCTL. They're 10k gold ahead. That's a whole hit. That's a gyrocopter's worth of gold.
Definitely. We're starting to see some hard snowball come out now. There's been a lot of team fighting, and Bounty Hunter has been active in just about, like, in a good half of them. The Luna got a nice early BKB. She's got nearly a full Manta now, only 250 gold away. So this Luna is very heavily farmed, and Gyro is starting to fall behind. The Yasha, and he's basically sitting on, okay, he's got a BKB, but as for his damage output, he's sitting on a Yasha and a Midas.
Yeah, he's not going to get a lot done with that. He can go Sanjan Yasha if he wants to get a bit, be a bit safe and tanky. That's not really going to work very well for him. Whereas, I mean, he can go for a Manta style, but Gyro's not exactly the best Manta carrier. It would have been nicer to see him go for something a little more conventional Gyro.
He might have gone for frankly an MKB after the BKB,
especially as Luna is a great, but you pretty much know that her next item is probably going to be a butterfly, and then a satanic maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, this Yasha here, I mean, going for possibly a Manta. The only reason I would say to really go for a Yasha in this situation, in not going for a full Manta, you got to go for a full Manta, and the full Manta at least is okay versus a Bounty Hunter, because you can get rid of that track. But even then, he doesn't have a Shadow Blade. There's that Manta for the Luna, while Gyrocopter has actually completed Sanjan Yasha. So I'm very worried now that, I mean, Luna is already snowballing quite ahead. They've got the map control, they've got the towers, they've gotten denies, and I'm worried now that Luna is just about to just absolutely ball out of control.
Possibly. I mean, they're posturing around the Roche pit now. And I've seen them do this before. They take a very long time to stand around the Roach pit and sort of bait something out. But ESWN aren't falling for the bait, and they're making use of the fact that they've got a Tinker who is just doing so much work. It's 30 minutes in, he's got his level 1 Dagon already, he's got Blink BOTs and Soul Ring and Bottle, and he's just happily split pushing these towers.
Top tower is under siege.
Happily split pushing them. It looks like they're going to go for the Roach here.
If it boils down to Rat DotA, it definitely will be in the favour of ESWN. They've got that Tinker porting around the map, and they've got a Gyro with Flat Cannon. But when push comes to shove, when WCTL come knocking on their front door for their tier 3s with an Exorcism, a Blink Fisher, a Blink Echo Slam, and this Luna, who now has an Aegis, I'm not sure if a Dagon's going to be too much use to you.
It's not. I mean, they might be able to pop that Aegis very, very quickly, but then she's just going to get up, BKB, and pop an Eclipse, and then suddenly their entire team's going to die.
It's not out of control just yet. If ESWN get a good team fight like they have before, they can come back from it, but they need to play careful. They can't get caught out, and they can't get greedy, and I'm worried about this dire jungle.
Yep, they're going to go onto the Tinker. Bunny's there on the clock. He's just going to back out. He knows a lost cause when he sees one. And that's a pick-off. They don't want to give away on that Tinker. Ideally, the only team that really wants the pick-offs is ESWN. Because WCTL, they can take a team fight. They're not worried about a team fight. So they'll take team fights, they'll take pick-offs. They won't care. Whereas ESWN, they need to be looking for pick-offs. They need to be looking for those little edges that can get them really back into this game. And they've just lost one there in that Tinker. That Tinker's down for 30 more seconds. And they're just going to look to push a tier 2 tower for this again.
A nice follow-up to killing a Tinker. The lane is convenient push quite close to the tier 2 on top for ESWN. And that tower is going to go down with absolutely no contest. They could even push this up a bit further now to get some damage onto the tier 3.
All
of
like
ESWN
they're base
are
racing almost.
Yep.
But they're gonna take this tier 2 and TP back. And they're going to glyph as well. Manta Put comes out from the Luna though. And see how much damage they can really do. Big cooldown coming out. Dodged by everyone but the Death Prophet. In rolls the Abaddon. But you know what? Nothing's going to do of it. That tier 3 tower down to half health.
Very strong slow siege coming out here from the Death Prophet. Just stand back with those exorcisms. If the creep wave comes out, nuke them with your nuke.
Recoil's got that Aegis, just happy to be a little bit further forward. Now let's hope he doesn't pop it like he did last time, where he runs forward, pops it, but then just gets jumped on again and doesn't really do anything to stop that. Blocking his own ancient stack there. Oh no, he doesn't manage to. I thought he blocked his own ancient stack there, but he's going to take that ancient stack. He's got 2.7k gold now already. He's going to be very, very close to that Satanic. And the moment I mentioned this in the Twitch chat earlier when we saw it in another game. A Satanic BKB Luna, when she's popped both of those all at once, she's an invincible killing machine.
Absolutely ridiculous. And she's getting there with the farm, with the help of the bounty hunter. ESWN just can't keep up against this. It's that problem again, that they have no real good teamfight control. They've no stuns. They've like one stun from the clock.
Now I see a Demon Edge here out on the gyrocopter. Now it's probably going to be an MKB. It's more than like 9 times out of 10 it's an MKB. But every time I see this, just a little part of me thinks, is he going to go for a rapier?
It might be their only chance, to be honest. I would completely advocate Gyrocopter going for a rapier right here. He's still got a 10-second BKB, and his team is getting crushed by this Luna, who doesn't have a butterfly yet. She is sitting on 4k gold, though, as they go through the Radiant Jungle. But it's this lack of stuns again that's giving them so much trouble in these team fights. They need to rely on the split push of Tinker and give Gyro space to get the MKB, to get possibly a rapier, to get the items that he needs, because they are behind when WCTL are so farmed up because of this track gold.
They really are farmed up. And you know what, you're right about the lack of stuns. The only real hard disable they've got is the hook shot and maybe the missile at a push. And actually that's where that Tinker, possibly instead of going for the Dagon, going for the Scythe would have been a really good idea. Purely because then they've got the instant cast hard disable that they need. Whereas now they have no real hard stuns, you know.
There's nothing to stop Luna from popping a BKB. There's nothing to stop. They've got a hook shot and then possibly some bird stuns. And if they don't meticulously plan those and carry out that hookshot and those stuns, Luna's going to pop her BKB, she's going to pop Eclipse, and then she's going to lifesteal and like manta her way and win a team fight. They need a sheep on Tinker, or they need some good pickoffs. As you said, I mean, if Clockwork can get a hookshot on someone farming a lane and then Tinker like TP in on top of them, nuke, Dagon, that's what they need to be doing, along with, of course, the Tinker, of course, just pushing the lanes and giving the Gyro breathing space. But it's hard to do that when WCTL are constantly breathing down your neck and pushing your lanes.
It really is. Now we've got a slight pause coming out here. Some people with lag spikes. Just taking. Somebody's got a sound bug. Really important. Got to hear what's going on. Now I'm going to take this opportunity to just appreciate the team art here for Extra Sour Wet Noodles. Everyone loves a little bit of Nick Cage in their life, and you know what? I think we need more crossovers between Nick Cage and DotA, personally.
Do you think we could incorporate his name into any DotA heroes?
Ooh. Well,
looks like we won't get a chance.
At the rate they're changing them, I won't be surprised if Outworld Devourer suddenly becomes Outworld Nick Cager or something. I don't know.
Oh.
As opposed to Outhouse Decorator. They're going to look to push this Tier 2 now, though. The final Tier 2. Recoil's just happily standing there at the front. Pops a Lucent Beam out. Taking a lot of damage, but it's okay. He's got an Aegis. Aegis lasting for a bit. There, out comes a Hex there onto Uke. Uke's going to die. Out comes the Eclipse. Recoil's going to die, popping the Aegis. F pops the BKB on that gyrocopter. It's about to run out. Out comes the Rocket Barrage. It's going to see if it can take down J-Lu. But here we go. Out comes the Lucent Beam. And F is dead. Big hook shot coming in there from Puddy. Manages to catch 2 in with him. Catches Recoil in there. He's got the Blade Mail up. Recoil's just going to wait it out and then happily kill this Clockwork.
This Clockwork, man, this Clockwork is absolutely rocket ship sailing full of monkeys over the moon insane, man.
I know, it's brilliant to see, isn't it?
He's pulling kills out of nowhere. Like that team fight was very bad for both. The only person that survived was the Luna. I mean, that was just absolute carnage. The Death Prophet ulti just absolutely ate up all of the low HP people on XSR Wet Noodles. Gyrocopter able to do a good bit of damage there, but I had a hard time even just keeping up with that. But at the end, just that Clockwork hook shot into the cogs, he's chancing his arm so much, but it's working, and that was an absolute just mess right there.
There's that Satanic coming out on Luna, and she's still got 3.6k gold, so you know what, she's, you know, not too far from a Butterfly even now. Satanic, Butterfly, BKB, Manta, Luna, that's it, that's that's Luna pretty much finished farming. The only thing she can replace there are, get her boots of travel and swap the drums out for something like ridiculous, like a Desolator or something.
Yeah. Now I have to point out there that was very well played by WCTL. Tinker blinks in to. Frankly, I mean, he doesn't have a sheep, so I'm not sure what he was planning to do by blinking in right into the middle there. But the reaction time by Recoil to Manta stopped Tinker in the middle of his animation. So fast was the reaction time by her. And then on immediate Scythe of Vice use by Noob on Death Prophet. That absolutely just got the Tinker crushed. And even though 4 of them died, it could have gone a lot worse. But the reaction time there is just absolutely well played.
And that's someone we haven't focused on a lot recently. Noob on that Death Prophet's got a Scythe of Vice and a Yule Scepter. So much control there. You've not only got the Crystal Maiden Frostbite, the Earthshaker, million stuns. You've now got a Scythe, you've now got a Yule's. You can essentially control a whole team and just focus one down. ESWN just don't have that flexibility. They have to just hope that the Gyro's BKB can outlast the Luna's life, essentially.
Definitely. The Death Prophet is absolutely pulling her weight there, and we saw that in that last team fight where they did get a 5 for 4. The exorcism damage goes through BKB, I believe, because the spirits do physical damage. Yeah. And with the Hex as well as the Cyclone, I mean, the Cyclone is a fantastic item on the Death Prophet. It allows you to just stay alive while your spirits continue to eat things while you're invulnerable up in the air.
Well,
but as you said, it's like more control.
Of course you'd like any skill called Cyclone, Mr. CycloneDuke.
That has always been my favourite item in Dota 2, and I am always so happy to see it being buffed and buffed and buffed. It is now an amazing item. It's nearly like having a second pair of boots, and it's doing very well in the hands of Noob on Death Prophet right now.
And Recoil's picked up that Eagle Song so close to that Butterfly. Meanwhile, F on the Gyrocopter, he's 1.7k and he's still got his Demon Edge. He's got to be thinking more and more about that Rapier now. They're going to look to push this high ground. Cooldown comes down, doesn't really hit much but illusions. And that's a lot of damage they've just lost, and a big slow as well.
Kind of a questionable call down there, since we already had Jung on the Tinker laying down those March of the Machines to stop the push. And we're going to have another game of Slow Siege here, and Exorcism is just about ready. It's max out with Witchcraft, and this is going to be the push of death.
Yep, here it comes, recoiling, gets a Lucent Beam out, taking a lot of damage, still hasn't popped BKB or that Eclipse yet. And
there go those birds to the glaives.
Yeah, they're just going to keep slow sieging now. And you know what, WCTL have really shown that they can make a lot of these slow siege situations. Their patience is really good, their decision making's good as well. They're
just waiting for a good few tracks. The longer they slow siege here, they can just throw out the breaths. I mean, they haven't even used the Death Prophet Exorcism yet. All they're using is Manta Illusion. So they're backing off now because they can't get a good. They need Earthshaker to get in and get a nice aftershot, get a nice oh dear God,
Echo Slam.
Forgetting me words there. Echo Slam, thank you. They need the Earthshaker to be looking out for a good chance to jump in, is what they were doing there. And I guess they just got tired. Perhaps has Luna, she doesn't have an Aegis right now, but she's just about to finish off that Butterfly. So the tempo of the game is about to pick up hardcore.
Yeah, and especially given that most of we'll change this later, the guys from Kent, most of them are now part of the way of picking up their BKB, the ones that haven't already got it. Crystal Maiden with a BKB, aka Carry Maiden. Beautiful. Beautiful.
You always know when you see a Crystal Maiden with a BKB that her team's doing well. Earthshaker going for an Aghanim Scepter now in the meantime, so he's less reliant on creeps. Luna is just fed as all hell, as we said already. Gyro has picked up his MKB just in time for the Luna, just before he finishes that Butterfly. So it's all on the shoulders now of the Tinker to push the lanes and give the Gyro breathing space, because frankly I think at this point now he needs a Rapier. And he's got the MKB.
He needs to survive in fights as well, if anything. Jung really should have possibly stopped upgrading that Dagon and looked for something like Yule's or a Scythe something to just take the Luna out of the fight for a little bit so that Gyro can actually do something without dying in 3 seconds.
If they had a Venge, if they had a Lion, if they had a Sven, you could find Luna in a lane, stun, teleport boots, sheep, and then she's dead. But they don't have that option now because they've no stuns on their lineup except for that hook shot, and they've no items to compensate for it. And I worry that it will be their downfall because they cannot stop this Luna.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going for that third Roshan, that Roche plus cheese. Do you know what they call a Roshan in Paris? A Roshan with cheese.
Roshan with cheese.
Yeah, a bit of a Pulp Fiction reference there for you. There's that butterfly out on Luna. And she's also got 2.8k gold. She's about to pick up an Aegis. This is where they go for the win here. They've got a Butterfly Satanic BKB Luna with an Aegis. They've got a hero with cheese, which looks like the Death Prophet. There we go. Most of their heroes have got BKBs and buyback.
Hey, JT, may I partake in your refreshing beverage to wash down this burgery goodness?
Oh, Cyclone. You're a man after my own heart with your movie references. Love it.
So, we're getting some nice split push coming out here now. Yoon has his level, he's nearly maxed out that Dagon.
Yeah.
Bit late to be honest if you ask me, but he's still a tinker. He's got boots of travel, he's got a blink. He can very safely farm, push these lanes, and that's what he needs to be doing because he's got very little time now until another push of death attempt comes in.
Yeah.
Bai will change this later on the bottom lane.
Well, Tinker's gonna tink, and he's got to be tinking really hard right now. He's in here to try and stop this death push, and you know what, that double march of the machines is really quite potent, but Recoil is able to just happily lifesteal through it with normal Satanic lifesteal. I'm not sure if the Butterfly gives evasion on those March of the Machine hits. But
nah. But she is sitting on 27 armor and 2.3k health with an Aegis, a Manta, a Satanic, and a BKB on 8 seconds, so I don't think she minds too much.
Here we go, defensive cogs coming out. Recoil taking quite a lot of damage. Solar Shumsun comes out. Jaylu's going to go in as well. Recoil very, very low on health, but remember he has got the
Dagon.
Aegis. Tinker does
There's
have
the
that
Satanic.
Yeah, Satanic popped. Easy, suddenly I'm almost at full health again. And they're just going to go back. And they're having some difficulties pushing into this constant march of the machines. And this is really nice to see. Tinker really coming into his own as a counter pusher here.
Are you having troubles pushing your lane and staying up in bed? Take Tinker, fight those towers. Okay, look, man, I mean, honestly, I don't know why they're having performance issues here. We'll change this later. They can go high ground. There is nothing to stop them. They have the Aegis. They are farmed as all hell. Shaker has a Scepter. Crystal Maiden has a Force Staff and nearly a BKB. She's sitting on that Ogre Club. Luna is now 6-slotted. She has TP boots and has sold her drums and is now holding an Aegis. So I don't know why they don't just go high ground. They've got the Death Prophet with Ecticism. They've got an absolutely overfarmed Luna. They've got a Earthshaker to start the fight. I don't know why they backed off here. This is giving the Tinker time to push the lanes. This is giving the Tinker time to build that sheep stick. It's giving the Gyrocopter time to get to the next item. And this could possibly turn it around on them, because if there's any way for Extra Sour Wet Noodles to come back in this game, it's by, we'll change this later, backing away and not ending the game when they should.
It really is, but Rico's looking to roll in now. About 2.5 minutes now on that Aegis left. They need to make use of it quick. But what does the Luna go for now? Once that Aegis goes, she's got an extra slot. Now obviously she's got 4k and her buyback is only about 1.5k of that.
Heart.
But a heart, possibly another damage item, I don't know.
Another damage item would work. I mean, she's already because there's no sheep stick. Another damage item would be perfect. She's got a BKB. There's nothing they can do to stop her apart from a hook shot. And she's tanky enough, and she has evasion and so much armor that she can survive. So another damage item would be right up her alley. So possibly a Daedalus, as you said.
Daedalus.
Possibly a Rapier, man. I mean, just absolutely crush. Yeah, I mean, when the enemy team has no stuns, a Rapier is not bad.
I don't know how Daedalus works with the bouncing glaives, but either way, it would be such a strong item on her, just for that extra damage. Or, like you said, a Rapier would be very strong. Just because it would scale with those glaives. it would scale with her life steal. She'd basically be able to stand there with Satanic up and not...
She could 1v5 them.
Yeah, she would. She really would.
Unless there was a sheep stick, and that is kind of the big theme of, kind of what we're seeing in this game is they need that sheep stick, and I really hope Tinker can... He's after picking up a Ghost Scepter, which is not a bad decision. I mean, everyone on the Radiant team could get a Scepter.
Yeah.
Top lane.
Oh, top lane, they're going on Recoil. Out comes the Blade Mail from Bunny and the BKB, but Recoil's got the Eclipse up and just chasing it down, taking down Morgan 95. There's lots of damage coming out on Recoil, and out comes the Gyrocopter. Aegis is popped. Is Luna going to be able to get away from this? She's not got anything available on cooldown. She's going to die here, and she only manages to take the Visage. Not a good trade. Buys back straight away, and TP's right to bot lane. Third life, yeah. And you know what? This is really good because she's just exhausted a huge amount of resources on the side of Extra Sour Wet Noodles, and now she's just going to use this opportunity to take a tier 3. This could probably be Rax as well because there's no glyph now. They've used the glyph. In comes the shot. Blade Mail up. Big Crystal Maiden freezing field. Death Prophet's down. Crystal Maiden's down. And Visage is down. Out comes the Echo Slam. F's going to die. That's a dead Gyrocopter. Does he have buyback? I don't know. He does. He buys right back into the game. Double kill coming out from the Bounty Hunter. And they're going to manage to get a triple kill as well. But that Bounty Hunter dies. My goodness, deaths and buybacks all over the place.
James Bond playing out of his mind there, saving the Luna from the Gyrocopter and ensuring the kill on, I can't even tell who, there was so many deaths, but James Bond absolutely making the difference there. It was Gyrocopter, holding the Gyrocopter in place long enough that Luna can just stand there and right click. And what a busy minute. I mean, Recoil going just completely very confident on that top lane, takes out Visage just so they can kill her once. Gets up, and then she does get focused down by like 4 heroes from XSR Wet Noodles waiting for her to come out of the Aegis. So she does get killed. Godzilla goes down. A lot of bounty going the way of XSR Wet Noodles. Immediate buyback and TP down to the bottom lane for a third chance at life, and they take the racks. So absolutely powerhousing here now, this Luna, and she's sitting on 4.5k gold, and now that Aegis item slot is available. So I'm very interested to see what she's going to buy next.
And she doesn't need to save for buyback because she's not going to have it for another 4 minutes. So she can pick up another very strong damage item. I think that's what she'll need to really push that high ground and relentlessly. I mean, like I say, Daedalus. She could also go for an MKB. That would also be good because then that would mean that she can push with glaives from the low ground without any mischance and have the chance for a mini stun.
I mean, she could go for just about anything, I think, at this point. I think she is so powerful that we're going to see a big team fight here on top. On bottom, sorry.
Track comes out. Are they going to take down F? BKB's up, pops out the rocket barrage. James Bond, oh dear, he's managed to pen everybody in. Oh no. That would have been a... He's been playing so well this game. No, they're pushing in. And I think they've managed to take out that Visage. Target acquired, target neutralised. Chase him down relentlessly. And Yoong's just going to casually sit there and turret away. Oh no! Are the birds going to manage it? Or are they going to get the birds back now? Roshan's up in 55 seconds. Another Roche. Is Recoil saving that slot for another Aegis?
He shouldn't be. They should give the Aegis possibly to the Death Prophet. Possibly, I'd say even just give the cheese to the Earthshaker maybe. I mean, just keep him alive, keep stunning people. But Luna doesn't need more items. She's already absolutely wrecking house.
Yeah.
If Gyro picks up something big, she might need to respond. Gyro's sitting on 3.9k gold. Might get a butterfly of his own soon. It would definitely work against the Luna.
Yeah.
We are seeing sheep, unfortunately, coming out for Extra Sour Wet Noodles.
Still no sheep. Dagon 5 on the Tinker. Obviously, Tinker can go Ethereal Blade with that Ghost Scepter as well and pull out, once again, even more burst. But still, they don't have that CC. They don't have that way to lock down Luna in a team fight.
They can't
Luna's just wrecking house.
you've got an awful lot of nuke potential, but that's worth nothing when the enemy team has BKBs and you've nothing to go through it. Like, I mean, believe Bounty Hunter has a BKB,
Yep.
Death Prophet has a BKB, Luna, and
Luna.
Crystal
Earthshaker
Maid still
doesn't.
sitting on that Ogre Club.
A very casual Ogre Club. You know what's good? Because she's got 1k health with that Ogre Club. She doesn't last very long in fights at all, so she needs every little bit of health. Now, Bounty Hunter looks to be going for an AC, and I was hoping that Bounty Hunter would go for something similar, purely because I think it's this is the sort of time where that second carry, that second core, needs to start shining as much. I don't know what that Eclipse was, possibly a misclick.
I'll tell you, I don't know what that mechanism was on Earthshaker. That's the second mechanism now up for, we'll change this later. Don't know what's going on there. That could have been possibly a Veil of Discord on the Earthshaker instead. Would have been a very big difference.
I don't know. They're going to look to Roche now. Now, I know that Luna has picked up a Daedalus, so they're going to be giving this Aegis to somebody else. Luna now balling so hard, super 6-slotted. Aegis goes to the Death Prophet. Cheese going to the Bounty Hunter.
I would probably have swapped that around myself. The problem with giving Aegis to a Death Prophet is if she dies, the exorcism stops.
Yeah.
I believe. I very much would expect that if you use Aegis, that the exorcism stops and doesn't continue on. Might be wrong. We might see. But either way, this might be the end of the game here. We've got Mega Creeps coming in the bottom lane with two carts on that wave. Huge push going down the bottom lane. And a big team fight coming out with a 6-slotted Luna with probably buyback 3k gold in her bag and a Daedalus absolutely capped. If the game's going to end, it needs to be soon.
She's got buyback in 10 seconds. I think she's got enough gold for it as well. Just making sure that she's got all of that gold as well. And this is where it comes. If ESWN can somehow manage to defend this, they might have a chance. But this is WCTL's time to really push into this. Really try and hammer that final nail in. Recoil's now got the buyback. 6-slotted.
They've got the levels, they've got the gold, they've got the tools, they've got the item, they've got the time, they've got the lanes. They need to make this happen.
And meanwhile, Jung is just going to carry on with that March of the Machines counter push. Really, really strong. It's kept Extra Sour Wet Noodles in this game for so long. Now the Glyph comes out, they're pushing high ground, Recoil's a little bit too far forward, gets Dagon, who's quite a huge chunk of life.
Hook shot on the top lane.
Hook shot on the top lane, they're going to manage to take out this Bounty Hunter. He's not dusted. He manages to escape.
It's distraction from the mid lane.
Distraction because Recoil is going in there. Noob manages to cheese out, fakes out the laser. There goes a tower. The spirits are still out. Recoil gets cogsed in. Pops the Eclipse though. Bunny is going to die. F has the BKB up but gets taken down as well. Double kill there. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter, everybody's dying here. Triple kill for
Absolute
Recoil.
on the
GG calls out.
Game.
That's game. Team wipe there. Ultra kill on the side of Recoil. Look at that. 7.9k gold.
55 minutes just about.
Well, that was a fun game. So we're going to be heading into game 2. We'll change this later. Preserving their undefeated streak. They have not yet lost a game in this tournament. And my goodness, what a game we got to see right there. Really exciting game, 55 minutes. And we're going to see another one. So if you stay tuned for that here on UKGL TV, we shall just wait for the new lobby to come up. And we'll let
JT,
you know. Yeah.
Man of the match.
Oh dear, very, very, very hard to choose. Very hard to choose. I mean, Recoil's carrying was always very strong. You know, that Luna was always going to have a huge impact. Early game, I would have to... I really can't say it. I really can't give it. I'm
telling you, mine was...
Go for it.
Mine was Bunny. The dark horse. Absolutely... Balls to the wall, ridiculous, overly aggressive play, paying off somehow for him in the early game, and just he secured a lot of kills and just entertaining play. Didn't necessarily win the game for them, but my man of the match is definitely going to be the Clockwork.
I like that choice Personally, I still think the most impactful hero in that game was that Luna. Just farmed really well. Took advantage of every single lead that they had. A couple of questionable decisions with when they went in and such, but.
Of course. I mean, all props. I mean, of course, the grand orchestra of that game was being composed by the Luna. She was really honestly the one making, the plays and putting the pressure on. And I have to, again, point out very good play by the Earthshaker as well, keeping very, very good Earthshaker play by him, keeping enemies locked down, and also by the Death Prophet, just good use of the ulti and of her items, and again that reaction speed. I loved watching that game in mid. Okay, so let me just join. There we go. I'm good to go for the next one. But I was saying, man, just watching that Clockwork at the early game, absolutely entertaining, and he wasn't most influential. The influential biscuit in the box, but he was my favourite, and I look forward to seeing some more play by all these players in our next game.
Well, we're going to take a little quick 5-minute break, just while people get their thoughts together. Both teams get back into the lobby, and everyone gets a nice little drink, nips to the toilet. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. Make sure you're there for Game 2, Extra Sour Wet Noodles versus We'll Change This Later.